Hi everyone, Makaela here from the Burka Avenger project. Welcome to the 7th video in our web series that discusses the Burka Avenger Teacher's Guide and how to get the most out of it. In this video, I will be going over Chapter 7 called Emotional Robot that begins on page 101 of the Teacher's Guide. The theme of Chapter 7 is people shouldn't be judged on their appearance and is broken down into 3 sections: before you watch, while you watch, and after you watch. I would imagine that your students would have a lot to say about judging a book by its cover, either from their own experiences or what they have observed in others. This is another one of the great morals that Burka Avenger and Miss Gia teach side by side along with the English language. Take this teaching moment to explore the morality of the topic as much as you can by using the targeted vocabulary and ideas expressed in the video. I really like all the exercises in the Before You Watch section, so if you have time, complete all 4. There's also an optional activity that introduces a writing component to reach the read-write learners in your classroom that would be pretty fun to implement. Beginner students should be able to complete the 4 exercises in an appropriate amount of time, so consider adding the optional activity for intermediate and advanced level students. It seems that this section is packed with great activities because even the tip on critical thinking can be turned into a speaking exercise to reach the auditory learners. Keeping in mind the importance of time management in an English language classroom, I would recommend this activity for intermediate and advanced level students, and consider doing either the optional writing activity or the speaking activity listed on page 102, but not both. Also, the word brute comes up throughout the chapter, and I'd just like to take a moment to make sure everyone feels comfortable with the definition of this word, as it will most likely be a new vocabulary word for your students. A brute is a person or an animal that acts in an almost uncivilized manner, and is usually someone or something that doesn't possess sophisticated skills in reasoning or intelligence. The word brute most definitely has a negative connotation, so be sure to express this to your students when going over this word. As an English language specialist, I would also like to mention another activity that came to mind when looking over the Before You Watch section. Exercise A asks students to match emojis to adjectives, with there being 4 emojis and 10 adjectives listed. An additional activity students could do would be to draw the emojis for the remaining 6 adjectives. This could be done in class or as homework and would be an interactive way to reach the kinesthetic learners in your classroom. This particular While You Watch section has a lot of exercises. So my first piece of advice would be to prioritize the exercises that would be most useful for your students, especially if you have beginner and intermediate students. With this in mind, I always enjoy doing prediction and critical thinking activities with my students, and this section has 2 critical thinking and 2 predictive activities. As discussed in previous videos, maintaining a student-centered classroom is one of the major indicators of an effective teacher, and activities that include critical thinking and performing and checking predictions are an effective means of reducing teacher talk and getting students to participate, practice language, and encourage peer-to-peer learning. Wrap this chapter up in the After You Watch section by reflecting on the activities from the first 2 sections in order to maintain a balance in regards to covering all the learning styles represented in your classroom. This section has 2 excellent speaking exercises and 2 great writing exercises, so use this as an opportunity to balance out the lesson. In other words, if you have done a lot of listening and speaking activities so far, incorporate the writing exercises to allow more engagement for your read-write learners. If you've chosen to do fewer listening and speaking exercises, the final section is the perfect opportunity to reach the auditory learners in your classroom. You can't go wrong either way. Just make sure that you're maintaining a balance to best educate all of your students. Well, that's it for Chapter 7. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas on how you can best use Chapter 7 in your classroom. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video and share it widely with your colleagues and the other teachers you know. Videos for Chapters 1 through 6 are also available, as well as the corresponding Quick Tips series, which takes an expert dive into an interesting aspect of each chapter. So check those out as well. Thanks again, everyone.